Hello dear viewers, and welcome back to the channel where we meticulously track the intricate and often turbulent currents flowing beneath the gilded surface of the British monarchy. Today we delve into a deeply painful and complex family dynamic, one that suggests that while the crown may be secure, the bond was the bonds of kinship within the House of Windsor are currently under immense, perhaps unprecedented strain. We are turning our attention to the growing chasm, the significant cracks that are now visibly appearing between King Charles Roman III and his two beloved nieces, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, the daughters of the Duke and Duchess of York. This painful division is an unfortunate but seemingly inevitable byproduct of the continuous agonizing ordeal surrounding their parents, Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson. Before we fully immerse ourselves in this unfolding narrative of duty versus devotion, do remember to show your support for our work by liking this video and most importantly subscribing to our channel. Your engagement ensures we can continue to bring you these detailed, respectful analyses of the royal family's most pressing challenges. The situation is delicate, marked by a profound tension between institutional necessity and familial loyalty. King Charles Roman III, the reigning monarch, has long been described as possessing a deep awareness of the emotional trauma and disruption his nieces have been enduring. He recognized with genuine concern the immense impact that the massive life-altering changes currently sweeping through the York family would have on Beatrice and Eugenie. For the king, the core of the issue was a fundamental sense of unfairness. He believed quite rightly that it was terribly unjust for Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie to be continually dragged along, unwilling participants in the relentless public scrutiny and controversy surrounding their parents, the notorious and scandal-ridden Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson. His sympathy was reportedly sincere, rooted in an understanding of the immense burden placed upon these two young women, who are in many ways victims of circumstances entirely outside their control. This sentiment of protective concern for the York sisters is crucially shared by the king's heir, Prince William, the Prince of Wales. William has reportedly expressed the very same sentiments about his cousins, acknowledging the difficulty of their position as the monarchy attempts to stabilize itself following years of turbulence. However, despite the shared empathy from the king and the Prince of Wales, the sheer weight of the royal family's necessary decisive actions is undeniably taking a severe emotional toll on the sisters, according to insights provided by veteran royal expert Richard Fitzwilliams. Fitzwilliams recently offered a clear-eyed perspective on the dilemma facing the princesses. He suggested that both Beatrice and Eugenie are highly intelligent, well-informed individuals who understand intellectually that the path being pursued by their uncle King Charles and their cousin Prince William represents the only logical, sensible, and necessary next step for the preservation of the crown. They grasp the institutional gravity of the situation. Yet for these young women, this intellectual understanding does not possess the power to alter the deeply emotional, immutable fact that Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, regardless of their public standing, their past errors, or the scandals attached to their names, remain at the end of the day their mother and father. This conflict between the demands of the institution and the demands of the heart is the very core of the rift. Now widening within the family, the impetus for the most severe actions has been intense, driven by a global public outcry and widespread protests that reached a crescendo of undeniable pressure. It was on the persistent, unwavering advice and insistence of his heir, Prince William, that King Charles was compelled to take the most consequential steps. The king ultimately forced Prince Andrew to relinquish his remaining military titles, royal honors, and official patronages. This was a move of profound significance, signaling an institutional severance deemed absolutely vital for the monarchy's survival in the modern era. But the actions have not stopped there. The relentless necessity of distancing the monarchy from the disgraced Duke of York continues to manifest in practical terms. There are now advanced and detailed discussions underway, talks that are moving at a very fast pace to remove the disgraced royal entirely from his longtime residence. The Royal Lodge, a sprawling and historic property in Windsor Great Park, has been Andrew's home for many years, a significant symbol of his place within the senior ranks of the royal family. To force his removal from this entrenched sanctuary is perhaps the clearest possible indicator of the commitment by King Charles and Prince William to a total and permanent separation. This physical eviction, if finalized, would be the ultimate public declaration that the Duke of York's status as a working or even semi-official royal is definitively over. Commenting on the far-reaching implications of this ongoing crisis, Richard Fitzwilliams shared his expert opinion with Express.co. UK, highlighting the perilous uncertainty that still surrounds the situation. He stated directly that the consequences of the scandal surrounding Andrew and Sarah Ferguson are unforeseeable. Fitzwilliams elaborated that the ultimate outcome, the final shape of this family crisis, will be significantly dependent upon the contents and revelations contained within the infamous Epstein files, documents that hold the potential to unleash further waves of public outrage and legal scrutiny. The depth and nature of the damage are intrinsically tied to information that has until recently been kept hidden from public view. Furthermore, the royal expert emphasized a critical factor that involves the princesses directly. He explained that since Beatrice and Eugenie are the daughters of Andrew and Sarah, the future dynamics within the family will partly depend on how Beatrice and Eugenie perceive how their parents are treated. This perception, the feeling of being loyal daughters watching their parents face what they might view as unforgiving, perhaps even ruthless institutional action, is what fuels the current estrangement. It is Prince William, ever focused on the future and the stability of the institution he is destined to lead, who is reportedly the driving force behind the most stringent policies. William is said to favor a policy of total and absolute removal of both Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson from all significant royal events. This policy of exclusion would be comprehensive, allowing for only the narrowest possible exception, perhaps a mandatory church service or a deeply private family gathering, but otherwise maintaining a firm, impenetrable barrier. Fitzwilliams confirmed the swiftness of these developments, noting that events are moving very fast, and that is effectively the position now. The policy of exclusion is not merely theoretical. It is rapidly becoming the established functional reality for the Duke and Duchess of York. The royal expert was quick to point out the inevitable familial cost of these decisive institutional maneuvers. He underscored that all these calculated steps, the stripping of titles, the potential eviction from Royal Lodge, and the comprehensive exclusion from the royal calendar, are inherently disruptive to personal relationships. They aren't likely to endear the King and Prince William to Beatrice and Eugene. Fitzwilliams observed, however, the expert analysis concludes with a vital justification. These actions, painful though they are, were not taken out of malice or personal vendetta. They were instead important, necessary, and unavoidable steps taken with the singular overriding objective of protecting the sanctity and the long-term viability of the monarchy itself. The crown, in the eyes of Charles and William, must always take precedence over the personal comforts or feelings of individual family members, particularly those whose conduct has brought the institution into disrepute. This conflict presents a truly poignant dilemma for Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. They are loyal granddaughters and cousins, deeply devoted to the royal family and the principles of the crown, yet they are simultaneously loyal daughters, watching their parents face what can only be described as a thorough institutional dismantling of their lives and status. The sisters, who have maintained a dignified silence and continued their own philanthropic work despite the storm raging around them, are now placed in an impossible position. Every move made by King Charles and Prince William, while justifiable from the perspective of the monarchy's survival, serves as a further wedge, forcing the sisters to choose implicitly, if not explicitly, between the institution they serve and the family unit they cherish. The significance of Royal Lodge cannot be overstated in this context. It is not just a house, it is a fortress of familiarity and stability for the York family. Its loss would symbolize the final irreversible breakdown of Andrew's protected status. For Beatrice and Eugenie, the move is less about real estate and more about the perceived finality of their father's exile. If the king's policy is seen as excessively harsh, or if the Epstein files reveal details that exacerbate the public's fury, the sisters' perception of their uncle and cousin's actions could harden into lasting resentment. Furthermore, the role of Sarah Ferguson adds another layer of complexity. While she has long been divorced from Andrew, she remains his staunch defender and a central figure in the lives of their daughters. Her inclusion in William's proposed policy of total removal, barring her from royal events alongside Andrew, is a clear institutional statement that the entire York unit is to be kept at arm's length. This measure, while strategic for public relations, directly impacts the ability of Beatrice and Eugenie to include their parents in their lives and in their children's lives within a royal context. The generational divide here is stark. King Charles Roman III and Prince William represent the institutional pragmatism necessary for the crown's continuity. They are making painful decisions now to prevent potentially catastrophic damage in the future. Meanwhile, Beatrice and Eugenie represent the human cost of that pragmatism, the personal sacrifice demanded when duty conflicts with deep-seated familial ties. The potential for enduring cracks within the family is real. While the public might applaud the decisiveness of King Charles and Prince William, the private cost is measured in strained relationships and difficult conversations behind palace walls. The stability of the monarchy has been prioritized, but the tranquility of the family has been severely compromised. In summary, the narrative unfolding within the House of Windsor is one of necessary sacrifice. King Charles and Prince William, acting in concert, are implementing a policy of complete separation from Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, a move they recognize is vital for protecting the crown's integrity. However, this decision has placed Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie in an untenable position, forcing them to reconcile their intellectual understanding of the monarchy's needs with the emotional pain of watching their parents face institutional exile. This tension, fueled by the swift pace of events and the looming threat of further revelations from the Epstein files, promises to keep the internal dynamics of the royal family fraught for the foreseeable future. This event certainly gives us much to reflect upon regarding the true price of monarchy in the modern age. The crown demands absolute loyalty, even when that loyalty comes at the expense of one's closest family bonds. What are your thoughts on this heartbreaking conflict? Do you believe King Charles and Prince William are being overly harsh, or is this necessary institutional maintenance? Please share your opinions respectfully in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next detailed celebrity and royal update. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again.